just finished Bioshock Infinite, and holy crap, what a freaking amazing game. I loved every single second of it. Before I get into the actual review, though, this review is going to contain so many freaking spoilers. So if you haven't played it yet, you might want to wait and watch this after that, because yeah, I'm totally going to spoil the complete ending. So you've been warned. As with past Bioshock games, this game was freaking fantastic. The characters, the environment, the story, the voice acting, everything was incredible, and it was just spot on. I loved Booker. I loved just what an angry, just hardened guy he was at the beginning, and then you meet Elizabeth, and you really kind of watch their relationship grow, where she starts learning how to trust him, and then he kind of softens, and then he's less about getting the job done, which you've already played this, hopefully, so you know that what you're doing in Colombia is you were sent there to erase a debt, a gambling debt. You bring them the girl, they erase the debt. So you're sent there originally to kidnap Elizabeth and bring her back to them in New York. But things don't always go as planned. And it turns into, instead of you really just wanting to get the job done, you end up starting to care for her, and you want to save her and keep her safe and protect her with everything that's going on. They did an amazing job of having this relationship blossom between Elizabeth and Booker, but not making it a sexual relationship. If you watched my Let's Plays of Bioshock Infinite, you know I totally turned it into a sexual relationship. Yeah. My story was that I was actually sent to Colombia to deflower the gorgeous lamb, to send her astray, because I was the false prophet. But yeah, then after the ending, that was really kind of creepy. I'll get into that a little bit in just a second. But yeah, the environment was fantastic. I love that instead of Rapture, where it was a fallen city, Colombia was more, it was a living city. There were people living there. There were people just going on about their lives. I love the hot buttons they pushed. I mean, this is going to be really weird to say. I don't love racism, but I loved that they pulled it off in Infinite, if that makes any sense. I like it when games don't see a line and they just do what they want. Or I like when lines are crossed, basically. Thought Bioshock Infinite got to the line where a lot of people have been like, oh, wow, okay, they really just said that. And they just did it in a really, I guess, classy way, if there's any way to classy up racism. They did a really good job of it. God, I don't know how to say that without being a complete douchebag, but if you've played it, you know what I'm saying. It was a sign of the times, of what was going on in the time frame of Colombia, and, when they set away from America and all that stuff. The combat in Infinite wasn't spot on. It was better than what I remember in Bioshock 1 and 2. But it was still a little stiff to what I usually like. But having the vigors and be able to combine those and use those for your benefit during combat. And then later when you get Elizabeth and she's able to use her tears and bring things into the environment to also aid you in combat, that made the combat feel not so stiff. I didn't fight with the controls. They just weren't very friendly, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get into the ending, because this is like what everybody's been talking about. So I had been able to keep from any spoilers online from friends on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever. I had actually successfully had nothing, not a single part of the story spoiled for me. I woke up this morning, and like every morning, I crawl out of bed and I go sit my butt on the couch and I turn on my 360. But this morning was a little bit different. I had breakfast. I never, ever have breakfast, but this morning I did. Sitting there eating my cereal like a good little girl, and my mind starts thinking about Bioshock, because I know I'm going to finish it today. And little by little, as I'm eating my cereal, my mind starts to piece together everything that I'd been seeing so far, everything I'd heard, all the unanswered questions I had. And I actually, I have no idea why, figured out the ending of freaking Bioshock Infinite before I even got there. I was livid. At first, I was like, oh, I was just kind of thinking about things. When you watch a movie or something and you start piecing things together, you're like, oh, that's just my theory. I thought this was just a theory, and I didn't think there was any way that I was able to figure out that freaking much just by eating cereal. And I got to the ending and I was just so pissed off and actually really disappointed by it. Not by the actual ending itself, but from everything I'd heard from Infinite, everybody's like, oh, it's going to blow your freaking mind. It's such a mind fuck. I wanted that. I remember the first time I beat Bioshock 1, and that ending completely blew my mind. I wanted that feeling. I wanted that emotional roller coaster again. I wanted to feel that so badly, because movies don't do it, TV shows don't do it, video games don't do it, except for Bioshock Infinite. Bioshock 1. So this whole time, I've been craving that feeling. I wanted to feel like, what? Are you freaking kidding me? I wanted my mind blown. My mind spoiled the whole freaking ending for me. So I'm sitting there watching everything get explained, and I'm playing through the scenes that you get to play through, and I'm just like, can't believe it. I can't freaking believe it. I'm still really pissed. I called my best friend on Skype, and I was just like, what the fuck? I was just yelling at him, and I was like, I cannot believe I ruined the whole ending of Bioshock Infinite. Nothing was a surprise. I was so pissed off. There was one time that I almost thought, holy shit, this is totally going to blow my mind. And that was, there's a time at the end when you're figuring out about it, like the different tears and how there's different, doorways, and no matter what you pick, there's variables and constants and all that really cool stuff. So you go into one of the doors and it opens up and you're in freaking rapture. I was like, are you serious? I'm in rapture. This is amazing. I was like, holy shit, is Booker actually Andrew Ryan? And Elizabeth, is she a little sister, or is she, what was her name? The chick that kind of looked over the little sisters. My mind was getting ready to implode. So then we got into one of the bathyspheres. Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know. And we got to the top, and then that was all of Rapture. Oh, okay, that wasn't the ending. So I keep playing through, and then you find out Elizabeth is actually Booker's daughter. And, of course, in this kind of time continuum, it's that whole, like, if I can go back in time and change something, what exactly am I changing, or am I changing too much? That kind of stuff. So, turns out, again, it's totally spoilers, Booker DeWitt is Comstock. Comstock wants Booker DeWitt to bring Elizabeth, baby Elizabeth, to him. Baby Elizabeth is actually your daughter, Anna. You remember throughout the game, there were a few times you'd mentioned Anna. You were married, you guys had a kid, and she died in childbirth. So daughter named Anna. Anna DeWitt. That's why initials on your hand. Yeah? Sign of the false prophet. So you give baby Anna to, oh God, what's his name? The twin brother of the lady that was, really smart. So, that makes no sense. You give her to him, and then like, oh wait, no, I'm going to change this, You go back to try to get baby Elizabeth back, or Anna, and you reach through the tear to get her, and she reaches for you, and the tear closes on her pinky. That's why she's got the fucked up pinky. And yeah, then you then a little bit later find out that you are Comstock, and all the Elizabeths drown you. So yeah, that was the ending. And then of course there was that Inception ending where you walk into the room at the very end of his office, and is Anna in the crib or not? We don't know. Did the top fall or not? We don't know. You get to figure it out yourself. But that was the ending. I thought the ending was actually really good. Although the whole Elizabeth being my daughter, me being Comstock was a little bit of a cop-out. It was a little generic. Either way, the story was told amazingly. Completely enthralled, completely immersed. The story was great. The ending was actually really good. I would have been mind blown if I didn't have already figured it out. I just can't rant and rave about this game enough. It is excellent. I recommend it to anybody with any play style. You don't have to play Bioshock 1 or 2 to be able to play this. It's a really good game. I loved Songbird. I kind of expected him to be a much bigger character. I thought we were going to have to fight him or something from everything I'd seen at E3 and the trailers, like Songbird, everything. You heard a lot about Songbird. He wasn't in the game a whole lot, but the game was excellent. Like with Bioshock 1 and 2, I loved going around the world and finding the Vox phones. They were like the audio recordings in Bioshock 1 and 2. I love being able to hear the story from different points of views through those. And just like Bioshock 1 and 2, you got plasmids, but they were called vigors. And my two favorite were definitely Possession. I used Possession so much. I also liked the shield one where you could suck in bullets and then throw it back at people. That was awesome. Devil's Kiss wasn't that great. I didn't use that a lot. The Crows one was really cool. What else did I use? The water one, I had a lot of fun with the water one. I like being able to leash people and pull them to me and then kill them. The game is just phenomenal. The only one little thing I had an issue with it, or maybe two, there were a lot of graphical bugs. A lot of things that would break while you're playing it. That was a little annoying. It kind of took me out of the world for just a little bit, but it was still really good. And the collision was really not good. There were so many times I'd get stuck on a stair. If I'm going down the stairs, why is there a collision problem here? Or getting stuck around corners. That was a little bit of a pain. But overall, again, the game was amazing. I didn't get fully immersed in the world like I did with Bioshock 1 and 2. I would say Rapture was more of a living, breathing character on its own. Columbia wasn't so much a character on its own. It was a really cool world to explore, but I didn't feel like it was overtaking me. And I did really like when the game got really spooky, like with the whole Lady Comstock ghost raising the dead thing. That one scene when you're opening the 3 different tears and you walk into a really dark room, and then the wheelchair with a head sitting on it rolls towards you. Huh, scared the shit out of me. Yeah, but Bioshock, amazing game. You guys definitely need to check it out if you haven't already. If you haven't already, why the hell are you still watching this? I just ruined everything for you. So let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about the story. What do you think about the ending? What are your pros and cons? And thanks for watching. As always, totally love you guys.